May 28, 2024, 6 o'clock p.m. Commissioners meeting. We're glad to see everybody here in the crowd. And for those who are on Zoom or been listening in the past, there's been a lot of complaints about the sound. They can't understand, it's garbled and so forth. So we did have a company come in last week and they said we got the best mics on the market, but it's all the problem with wiring and so forth. So hopefully by our next meeting, for those who watch afterwards or watch Zoom, you're going to be able to understand and hear everybody good and clear. So we need one more meeting to get that done. The material will come in time. If you would, please find your cell phones and all other electronic devices. And we'll start this off with invocation. Mr. Bluth.
Please rise and bow your heads. Father, we come to you today as an assemblage of a community. We ask for your wisdom and your grace and your patience as we work through the issues of the people. We ask that you guide our decision making and guide our words. We ask these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda here is to adopt the agenda. Do we have any changes or anything? Everything good? I want to make a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Brian, second. All in favor? Okay. Presentations. I think the only thing we have here is it's a proclamation, LifeLink National Donate Life Month. I'm supposed to read that off. So I know it was in April, but we're going to read it off tonight, and it's right here. LifeLink National Donate Life Month Proclamation. Whereas one of the most meaningful gifts that a human being can bestow upon another is the gift of life. And whereas over 103,000 men, women, and children are currently on the national waiting list for organ transplantation, of which nearly 3,000 residents in Georgia. And whereas 46,630, a record number of transplants, occurred in the calendar year 2023, thanks to the generosity of 23,287 deceased and living donors, of which 1,268 transplant patients, 637 deceased and living donors were from Georgia. And whereas more than 2.5 million people throughout the country and in Georgia benefit annually from tissue transplantation, thanks to thousands of tissue donors. And whereas the need of organ, eye, and tissue donation remains critical as a new patient is added to the national waiting list for an organ transplant every 8 minutes. And each day, roughly 17 people die due to the lack of available organs. And whereas more than 3.8 million Georgians have already registered the decisions to give the gift of life through organ and tissue donation at www.donatelifegeorgia.org or on their driver's license or through a hunting, fishing, and trapping license. And whereas LifeLink of Georgia is the nonprofit organization dedicated to the recovery of organs and tissue for transplantation therapy in Georgia, with a mission to honor donors and save lives through organ and tissue donation. Now, therefore, I, Gene King, of Meriwether, Georgia, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 as Donate Life Month. And Meriwether encourage all residents to consider giving life through organ and tissue donation and sign up on Georgia's organ and tissue donor registry by visiting www.donatelifegeorgia.org or when renewing their driver's license or state identification card through Department of Driver Services or when obtaining a hunting, fishing, or trapping license through the Department of Natural Resources. All right, so go right on to Mr. John on the finance report, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, in front of you at the bank balances as of 3 o'clock today. All the funds are holding steady. The general fund special projects at 3.5 million. We did get that verified with the state. I'm just waiting for the state papers to come in so we can move that to the investment pool. The hosting fees did come in and probably the week after the last meeting. We had FedExes to us and actually came in the mail the same day we got the FedEx check. So that's how it works sometimes. The back page of SPOS and T-SPOS. SPOS with a committed balance, we're at negative 766,369.37. And your T-SPOS balance as of today is 1.15 million that's ready to spend. And we'll get our allocation Thursday for our SPOS and T-SPOS. We lost.
Any of the commissioners have any questions for the finance? Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any department heads to speak tonight?
Other than Cassandra, who will join us in just a second, I do have an update from a couple of departments. Animal Control had a great visit for the Atlanta Humane Society a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. Public Safety has been working on an AED grant along with finance. They also took took delivery of a new ambulance on the chassis and box. Thank you, commissioners. And then Recreation Department will be sending out official information here shortly, but we have 5 all-star teams that will be playing in baseball, or softball. He didn't specify, and they will be playing June 6th, 7th, and 8th. A couple of teams in Carroll, a couple of teams in Hurd, and 1 team down in Macon County. Football and kickball registration will also start very soon.
On the department head. Okay. With an animal shelter, George wasn't able to be here tonight. He
Yes, sir.
called me just for the rest of the board. He was going to come and talk to us tonight. Possibly us helping them get a net gun.
Okay.
Because we're getting a lot of dogs dumped in the county from the Pike County area. That area, because they don't have animal shelter. And he told me he's getting to a lot of get up the dogs close, but you can't put your hands on it.
Right.
Dart gun's outdated and there's too much involved with that. He said they could really use a net gun. And he was going to look into that and bring it for the board and see if we would try to work something out and get that approved. So we'll see. You can either follow up with him on that, but
Absolutely.
we got a bunch of them running around that need to be caught.
Yes, sir.
One issue in the rural area, though, is a net gun will catch shrubs and bushes and trees if it's not an open field.
All these ones over there off of the dirt road right now. I even go up to them trying to help them catch them. They're out there on the side road and they're gentle, but they just not gonna let you put their hand on them. You know, they'll let you toss them some food. So anyhow,
Yes,
go
I
ahead
would,
there and then talk to him.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I want to just come before y'all and recognize a member of y'all's department for the achievement. Our county clerk, Allison Stevens, has proudly achieved the status of certified public manager. She was awarded the certificate at Carvis Institute on May the 23rd. This program is designed to enhance the quality and efficiency of government agencies by improving effectiveness and professionalism in their various managers. Allison completed 300 hours of training over a 9-month period. Part of her program was a group project called Generational Bridges. And in that project, she worked as part of a team that successfully piloted a program in Effingham County, which was a collaboration with the local school districts, college and career center, and the community senior center. In addition to that group project, she also was responsible for an individual project, which aimed at enhancing efficiency in administrative offices. And her project was enhancing efficiency in Meriwether County through implementation of agenda management and open records software. And we have that in place, and she is wrapping that up right now. So her graduation from this program is a testament to her hard work, her perseverance, and her commitment to public safety. And I know that all of us wish her the very best and hope she'll continue serving our community. And she's always served it with integrity and excellence, and we appreciate her. Okay.
And
We have any other department heads?
One more thing, Commissioner, Chairman, the $100,000 GDOT invoice actually came in and we paid it out of T-SPOS. So that was a quick turnaround for that invoice to come
We
in.
got the invoice pretty quick. didn't we?
Yes, sir.
You figured it would.
Just want to inform the board on that.
All right, well, they're gonna go right on into citizens' comments. I gotta read this out. Speakers must contact the county clerk at astevens@meriwethercountygeorgia.gov for 706-672-3460 on or before the dates and times listed below in order to be placed on the agenda to speak. Speakers must provide their names, address, and the topic they wish to discuss. For the second Wednesday of the month, 9 o'clock a.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day before the scheduled meeting. For the fourth Tuesday of the month, 6 o'clock p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Speakers must direct the remarks to the board, not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. Speakers will be allotted 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to the matter pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizens' comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy, civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. We have 3 people to speak tonight. First one will come up. You'll have 3 minutes. There's Mr. Brian Hudson. Come up, give us your name and your address. And
Okay. Okay. I'm Brian Hudson. I live at 7364 Rocky Mountain Road. And I can't do this in 3 minutes.
give us your best shot.
So after this, if I can't get this done in 3 minutes, I'd like to meet with all 5 commissioners outside of here at whatever date that you guys can do. Not tonight.
All 5 at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine.
We get a quorum.
But anyway.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I've got several different topics that I'm gonna try to hit on. I took a ride through the county and I went through several buildings. One being up here, this jail, and this courthouse down here that's falling apart. And there's yellow caution tape around the post up there where concrete is falling off the building. So I'd like to know why there's concrete falling off the building and why we're giving $25,000 for fireworks and the centerpiece of Greenville is falling apart. The second thing is this jail up here that has had hundreds of thousands of dollars thrown at it. How much more money we're gonna keep spending on it? Is there grants that we can get that we can build a new jail to be better than what we have up here? I know they're inmates, but they got rights too. So we need to look at that. Every time a department head comes up here, they give you guys an idea of something that they want. We always go with the lesser thing. You guys up here making comments about department heads, how if they're not employing enough people, that they can't get the money that they deserve. How's that right? Does that make any sense to anybody? Because it don't make any sense to me. That falls on the commissioner's feet. That don't fall on these department heads. These people are out here busting their tail every single day for nothing. They ain't getting paid anything. They need some money. And if you guys want to keep good employees in this county, then we need to start paying them that way. That's what needs to happen. So at whatever convenience time that you guys have, I got plenty more I want to talk about, but I'd rather not do it here. Is that all right? Appreciate it.
Next one on the list is Suzanne Pingilly. Did I say that right? Okay, if I didn't, I apologize.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Bartels Pengelly, 619 Pinecrest, Manchester. And I'd like to invite the Meriwether County to join the city of Manchester and also the Manchester Development Authority in hosting the Independence Day January 3rd at the mill. You did last year. With the county's help last year, we created we have a small events team, and we were able to create this incredible event that we had vendors, we had lots of food trucks and beverage trucks, we had helicopter rides, kids activities. We also had 2 flyovers with the pilots joining us on the ground and spending time with our citizens throughout that were there at the event. We had an incredible band that played nonstop for 2 hours, high energy music from the 80s. And then we went right into our grand finale fireworks, and we couldn't have done it without the county. So anyway, just wanted to bring that up. It was very, very positive. Lots of rave reviews from people that attended, and not just Meriwether and Manchester and whatever. I mean, we had people attend from Columbus and LaGrange and, Coweta and Noonan and all over. And they really enjoyed and actually, left comments and talked to us about how incredible it was. Last year, it was the late Judy Foster Pike that came to the county and asked for you guys to participate. And I have the pleasure of, actually Judy asked me to go into service on the MDA, and I had the pleasure of working with her on the MDA for a while, and I'm still serving on the MDA as vice chair. Judy's no longer with us, so I'd like to extend that opportunity to share with us again in hosting this event. We basically, all you have to do is, share in the cost, and we'll do everything else. That's what I'm asking. And Judy, if you would also, I would like to see this dedicated in memory of Judy, your participation in memory of Judy. And it's just, a joint, well-meaning, well-being, for both Manchester and Meriwether County. So I'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.
We got one more to speak, and it's Colette, and I can't.
There he is.
I'm sorry, I didn't have it.
Good evening, Commissioners of Meriwether County. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Colette Berriesa, a long-time resident of Meriwether County. I hold a Master's of Administration Gerontology, graduating from the Gerontology Institute at Georgia State University just 2 years ago. I come before you to introduce a countywide senior center. Currently, 13.6% of the population is over the age of 64. Meriwether County, Georgia.gov reports that 21.1% of our senior population live in poverty, and within 5 years, these numbers are expected to explode. The importance of a senior center to its community is exponentially essential to the survival of its seniors. As the Meriwether County elected commissioners, your fundamental job is to function as policymakers who are in charge with the responsibility of providing a system of local government services that are designed to protect the health, safety, and welfare of their citizens. My responsibility as a gerontologist is to advocate for seniors. At this time, there are extremely limited services that have been set in place in Meriwether County for our seniors. You must understand, when the population gets older, it becomes imperative to keep our older generations physically and emotionally healthy, because there's a potential for our system to become overburdened like never before, financially and supportively. Studies show that by keeping seniors self-reliant and in their homes, it helps to keep them out of the system and helps them live longer. This puts focus on the services like senior centers to keep our older generations active. Our seniors deserve the classes, programs, events, resources, and even a good hot meal. The possibilities of services that we could provide are endless. I have the working knowledge of local, state, and federal programs in addition to other fundings. By my side are the state top gerontologists who all share my passion to help the betterment of the older population who reside in my community. Together, we can change Meriwether's grim situation that our seniors face today: social isolation, hunger, and their lack of accountability. The county, and especially the older population of Meriwether, will have a much brighter outlook with the help of all of you, the county commissioners. So today I ask you to create policy and make me the director of a county-wide senior center. The population of Meriwether County deserves so much more than they are receiving today. I am here before you as a representative for each and every senior, for their dignity and their well-being. I ask you to look into your hearts to enact policy change that is so desperately needed, because tomorrow it will be you, me, our neighbors, our family members facing these shortcomings. I cannot express the importance it is today that we must make the change for our seniors, that they are able to age gracefully in their homes. Thank you.
Is that other AC broke? Yeah, turn it on.
That's the minutes from the May 7th, 2024 work session, 4:00 p.m. I had a chance to look at that. Need any changes? Do we have a motion to accept the minutes? Motion, Commissioner Collins, got a second?
Second. Well, either
Second,
one of them.
Rosen, all in favor? Next, May 8th, 2024 regular meeting, 9:00 a.m. Has anybody had a chance to look at that? No, any changes that want made? Feel needs to be made? Not, no, I'm motion to accept the minutes.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented.
Board, we go have a second. Second, Mr. Collins, all in favor? All right, next we got several public hearings today. And the first one, is case number 24-006 request from Herbert Crawford to rezone parcel 073A 028 15.08 acres from RR to NHC, and parcel 073 011 002 2.25 acres from RR to NHC for the proposed use of a laydown yard and storage for grading company. This is in District 2. Do I have a motion to go into a public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? We are now in a public hearing.
Good afternoon. I'm asking that you please table this one until next month. Mr. Crawford was unable to be here tonight.
Appropriate zoning matter, the board's pleasure, the appropriate matters continue the public hearing, so we motion to continue the public hearing until that's specific.
Do I have a motion to continue this? So moved.
What's the date?
Seconds.
June 12th, 9 a.m.
Okay.
June 12th, 9 a.m. regular meeting. You'll do the evening meeting.
The evening, the meeting.
June 25th, 6 p.m. meeting.
Thank you.
Yes. That's it. Motion, second, all in favor? Do I have a motion to come out of this public hearing? We don't come out of it, do we? Huh?
Just continue, yeah.
Is continued.
We can?
Continue to number 2.
You continue this public hearing, y'all do it a little differently, y'all open each one of the public.
That's what I was told, so.
And.
Last
Now
time
it's
I
be
did, y'all
open
kept
up case
jumping
number
the
2, now it's just open case of public hearing, case number.
And then we'll come out of public hearing after.
Yeah, some boards just hold public hearing and vote close.
So we're going right on to number 2. Thank you, sir. Case number 24-007, that request from Deborah Brady to rezone parcel 091 0005 003 10.0 acres from RD to RR for the proposed use of the kennel.
Okay, all right. Ms. Brady has come before the board and went before the planning commission last week. And what she's wanting to do is, right now, we do have a moratorium on our kennels, but she'd like to go ahead and get the rezoning done so that once the moratorium is released, she could start building hers. But she says still maybe about a year out for her. She has 10 acres that's zoned RD, and she had asked for A1, but the staff recommendations are as follows. A1 and RR are zones that, and excuse me, LDR are all three zones and can be used for kennel use. After doing some research, the 10 acres being zoned should be under RR special use as a kennel because A1 actually requires 25 acres to be considered. Being there is a moratorium, she will not be able to do anything until we have the moratorium lifted. George with the Meriwether County Animal Shelter is good with a possible rezoning of the special use and he would also have to be the one to approve the kennel before a permit could be issued. My understanding with the planning board last week, Commissioner Theron would have to correct me if I'm wrong, is the board does recommend approval and that Ms. Brady is actually planning to do dogs 16 pounds and under. And she is here.
Tell us.
I'm sure. Debbie Brady, I live at 542 Wilson Road in Luthersville, the parcel in question. We just want to do small scale preservation breeder of a fairly rare breed, border terriers. They're small dogs, and just plan to have at most a couple kennels, a couple of litters a year. We're at least a year out from a litter because we're going through all the health testing and trying to do, be a responsible breeder. It is a rare breed and be a preservation breeder. So that's our plan, and appreciate the consideration. Any questions?
And we do have the moratorium now, and they're working on it, so you're not concerned with whatever the definition or how they finally come out with the requirements for after the moratorium. You're good with whatever that comes out.
Whatever that is, again, we're going to be very small scale. And at this point, we're going to whelp them in the house. Again, they have 5 to 6 pups and they top out of 16 to 20. So. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, if you don't mind me, just reiterating, I think from the previous meeting, you said the dogs are roughly about 16 pounds.
Yeah, they are 14 to 20.
Okay, and you'd be licensed to the state as well, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone signed up here to speak tonight on this hearing? Yep.
Is there anybody that wants to speak in opposition?
Right, to speak for, just give you an opportunity. Okay.
Is there anybody that would like to speak in favor?
All right, with that said and done, the staff recommendation for it, it is in my District 1, so, I don't want to make a motion to.
You got to close.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
You got to close it to vote.
Oh, so now we do come out, well, I tried to do that a while ago, okay, that's what.
Because we continue.
All right, do I have a motion to come out of public hearing?
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor? All right, now we are out. So, with that being said, does the board have any discussion or have any concerns? That being said, can I get a motion to accept this change?
So moved.
Motion got a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? Thank you. We're gonna go to case number 24008, request from Chad Smith to rezone parcel 054-003-005, 3.5 acres from RR to RR special use for proposed use of a clubhouse. That's in District 2. You'll have a motion to go into a public hearing.
So moved.
Motion got a second? Second, all in favor? We are now in a public hearing.
All right, Mr. Smith will be coming for you guys. He came before the planning board. He has 3.5 acres right now that's zoned RR, and he thought that he would need to go with neighborhood commercial because of previous reasons. And when doing research on it, I found out that the clubhouse would fit what he's wanting to do a lot better. The recommendations from the staff, for myself, would be the RR special use instead of a neighborhood commercial. Neighborhood commercial, once it's zoned neighborhood commercial, it could go with the land, but with the special use, it could not. The use of the clubhouse, the reason we went with the clubhouse is that he wants to be able to use this nice, facility that he has for his family, friends, and anyone that, would like to join as a member to be able to have, retirement parties, birthday parties, weddings, any small venue, less than 50 people. And we couldn't go with a larger venue and do it as a neighborhood commercial because of the acreage. That's the reason we're trying to go for a special use only. The planning board did not recommend because they thought that he would not need a permit at all. So I'm asking, as my recommendation would be for a special use. It would not, he does have, a fee that he would charge to be a member. He does have the hours that, they can be done. And the, hours to be, of course, no loud noise and nothing after midnight, and no alcoholic beverages would be sold on the premises. Mr. Smith is here to speak also.
Basically, she said everything kind of in a nutshell. We really wanted this opportunity to kind of move a little faster, but of course, we realize there's a lot of steps involved and a lot of people we need to notify and say, hey, this is what we want to do. So therefore, here we are. I did start out in 21 talking to planning and zoning, and a lady named was Jackie that I sat down with, and I sat down with a gentleman named Bruce. We were actually in a CUBA covenant at the time. So we knew we couldn't really break that and make it worth our while to work for it then. Well, since we started on this, the 35 acres became a part of the venue, I guess, so to speak. So we backed up, looked at it, and then here we are with pursuing the clubhouse type thing. And in general, it's a very small spot. It's a 40 by 40 building with a lean-to where we added restrooms and kitchen area, which there's no cooking necessarily involved, but we just basically want to have an opportunity where people can come and use our space and enjoy Meriwether County for what it is. We love it over here, and we see that in planning and zoning, and we just want to extend that opportunity to friends, family, employees, members of the group. So that being said, we would hope that you guys would give us an opportunity.
Would that require a business license too, though? Since they're gonna be charging fees and so forth?
It wouldn't require a business license because it's not a business, but it does have to require a fee yearly for the club. There's like a hunting club and all, because we do charge fees for the clubs. And he's doing the fee to help cover because he's not doing it as profit. He wants to be able to cover his expenses for electrical, water, and taxes.
Now, do we have anybody signed up here tonight to, well, firstly, anybody here to speak against the rezone? You're on the list there.
No problem. Adam Hand. Adam.
My name's Adam Hand, and I live at 684 Wilbur Keith Road, sort of across the street from their event. And like I said, they've come before y'all before. I think y'all denied it. And then they've still been having events there. They had one there this Saturday with loud music playing, squalling tires when they're leaving. And I've been there for 30-something years where I'm at, peaceful, quiet neighborhood. And I'm just not for all the loud music and tire squalling when people are leaving and stuff like that.
Frankie Whitlock.
Frankie Whitlock.
No.
Good evening. I'm Frankie Whitlock. Live at 2154 Wilbur Keith Road. I've been out there 36 years. I don't know you. I don't have nothing against you. That's a residential place out there. I can't see this working out there. Even like Mr. Hand said, even with your music, you can't listen to music at that place. It's so small. If it was back off the road, I may say, yeah. Understand, she said no alcohol will be sold there. We all know what that means. It's going to be brought in there. There's going to be alcohol there. Like I say, I don't know this man. I've never met him. But I've been working here in the county a long time. I think I'm the third longest county employee in the county now. Been here a long time. Say it the best way I can say it. You let one in, it's gonna start a domino effect. He may be good, but you're gonna get, sooner or later, you're gonna get somebody. You can't, if you let one in, you ain't gonna be able to deny them. You know, we've had these clubs before. We've had loud music, fights, stabbings, shootings, and murder. I just think I'm not for it. It's a residential. It's just too small. And like I say, I don't have anything against you, but I'm just not for it.
Paul Gable, 1582 King Road. And my property goes back, his east line hits my west line. But my thing is, for what he's wanting to do with family and friends, you don't need a permit. You just don't need it. I have friends and family over all the time. At my place, I won't even be there. But I'm not, didn't make a clubhouse out of it. I mean, I could change my barn to a clubhouse if I wanted to. So, I mean, I just don't see why you would rezone something when there's really no need to. Unless he is charging fees for weddings and so forth and so forth. Now, if your family wants to come over and visit, you want to pick up some money from them, ask them when they leave, say, hey, how about giving me some money? But I don't think you need to have a clubhouse to do it. That's all I got to say.
I'm Mike Gable. I live at 1379 Wilbur Keith Road. I moved here about a year ago. I grew up in Fayette County and moved here from Coweta County. And it's a nice, quiet, residential road. I got two new neighbors that built when I did. They're from different places and they all moved down here for the peace and quiet. And Wilbur Keith Road is a residential neighborhood, in my opinion. That's it.
Thank you.
Got it signed up on this, I'm not sure if it's for this Jack Johnson.
I thought I was signing for something else.
I don't know. Anybody signed up that's for it or anybody that wants to speak? Cool. Being said, do I have a motion to come out of public hearing on case 24-008? So motion of second.
Second.
Those all in favor? We're now out of public hearing. Do the commissioners have any discussion, Ms. Rhodes, in your district?
It is in my district, and I would express concern that it being residential and with it, the limit of 50, I'm inclined to agree that, you could have family and friends over and easily hit 50 without a problem. You wouldn't need any kind of special permit. And with that being said, I'm not sure that I understand fully why we would want to go this route. And I'm thinking about previous cases in the county where we've had problems with clubhouses. They may start out small, but then the next thing you know, you've got problems with alcohol and late hours and disrupting peace. And this is a residential area. So I'm not convinced on it. I'm sorry. And nothing personal against Mr. Smith or anything, but there again, I want to listen to the other people that are living there around the area or whatever. So. Any other thoughts?
Anybody else? Kind of agree with Rosa. I was confused at first. This is the first I heard about it, and I was confused on it because I don't think we have any ordinances or laws that say the family can't come over. For a lot of people this weekend, I noticed 15, 20, 30 cars out front for Memorial Day and out by the pool cooking on the grill. I guess unless they don't disturb the peace, have to have the sheriff come out there for some reason. They don't have to have a permit to do it. But There's no other comment, it's in your district.
We're gonna close the case out though. We got to close.
We have,
We did, so
so we have to make action one way or the other.
I make a motion that we deny it at this time and not move forward with it.
This case, 008, do I have a second?
Yes.
I'll need a second. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Move right into case 24, that's the 009, Marvin and Carol Montgomery to rezone a portion of their property, parcel 133-039-001 from A1 to A1 special use for proposed use of a cell tower, District 5. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
Motion, I have a second. Second, all in favor? We're now in public hearing for case.
All right, Mr. Smith is coming before you guys, on behalf of Marvin and Carol Montgomery to request a portion of their property to be rezoned to A1 special use. The proposed use of rezoning is to allow the Verizon Wireless to install a 245-foot self-supported tower surrounded by a 70 by 70 compound. Meriwether County will have 10-foot vertical space served for their use at no less than 120 feet above the ground level. The applicant meets all requirements and the staff recommendation is for approval and planning commission is for approval.
Marvin, Carol Montgomery, anything to say, Pat? Oh, okay.
Greg Spence, 86 Bull River Bluff Drive out of Savannah. Good to see you again. I was here just a little over a year ago for Verizon with another tower that is soon to be on air. If it's not already, it ought to be pretty soon. Back for additional infrastructure and developmental investment in Meriwether County. They are looking to build a 240-foot tower with a 240-foot for the radiation center, 245 with a 10-foot lightning rod that will bring it to 255 overall. Be built for 4 carriers. Meriwether County will be one of those carriers that's allowed space on there for your advanced D911. There were no existing structures that were going to be able to meet Verizon's objectives of the 240-foot rad center here, which is the minimum required they need to be able to provide the extended coverage and capacity for this portion. The only thing that we had asked of Planning Commission was that there be a landscape buffer, sort of belay it for now until it was ever needed. If the woods that were surrounding it were cleared and there was a need for the landscape buffer, we could then at that point, if ever contacted by the county, then we would put the landscape buffer in. And that's mainly just because of you plant trees and trees, the bigger ones are gonna drown out the new growth. And there was a request from the Planning Commission that if the tower were vacant for more than 18 months, that the tower be pulled down, which is not an issue, though we feel like Meriwether County's equipment would probably be the last equipment on this tower at some point in the long-term future. We are leased for 100 by 100 lease area. That is a 70 by 70 compound. The tower, as always, does not emit any noise. Once the tower is constructed, there will be regular maintenance vehicles in there about once a month just to check on the facility, make sure nothing's, no problems with it. Hurricane fence with the security wiring as per the code. So if you've got any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
We'll come out the vote. Right, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna do that. What are the, couple of issues of this, clarify what the difference here?
I think there was also some discussion of removing of the foundation of this down to 24 inches, if it's ever removed, because this is going to be a lattice type tower and the foundation is going to be substantial. And so we asked that they lower it down to the ground level as part of that. And also, I think it maybe as Zeke said in his report, but also we need to include the fact that they would allow the county to co-locate equipment, county public safety equipment on the tower. at no cost to the county.
Correct. That is correct. As part of the agreement we have, with the lease agreement we have in place does require them to remove the footings, below grade. And the only cost to the county, for co-locating would be for the structural analysis if you wanted to put additional equipment up there just to ensure that the equipment didn't overstress the tower at that time. Otherwise, there would be a footprint allowed for county usage inside the compound and the RAD center. But any type of additional equipment after the initial install and so forth would just, those generally run $1,800 to $2,500 for a structural analysis, and they take about 2 weeks.
All of these items that we're discussing, like potential landscape buffer, 18 months, no use removal. When that happens, drop to 24 inches, the county being able to install and use for no cost. That's in the contract that
That needs to be, the board is inclined to grant this consent, y'all need to.
be in the motion.
Rezoning based upon whatever y'all want to condition.
Does
So
it
if
get-
you want to condition it, there's got to be a rule, otherwise it's not, yeah, you don't need a contract if you condition, it, then they can't. So for example, you say, right, with a condition that, whatever.
And I believe that the RAD center space on the tower it's in there. I don't know that it's,
Stated, I don't know that the reduction held, 2 feet, was in there, we would like to add that. I don't know what the conditions wanted are, so you can still. Because you got your, like what you got, which is, I think. The worst conditions with that, not.
We're not any.
Just discussing the plan. Staff.
Yeah, but if they want them, they need to make.
That's why I was asking, because we don't have record of that right now.
What we need to do is to, that, they got to follow all of the landscape, ordinances and install it on the side of the submitted. They probably need to, indicate it there, that they would allow the county to, utilize the exception of the tower for the second with it as needed at no charge. If they would do the tower, if it's, not used within the 18 months of, put in service, and that they would do the 2 feet foundation, below ground level recovery, which the tower is. I think that's what it would be.
But the footing will be ground level.
Yeah, it'd be great, like, what we're doing is it's gonna have this huge chunk of concrete that nobody can break up. They got to lower 2 feet with dirt back on top. Otherwise, they just leave when you're done and. Right. Yeah, and it's not like moving at all, but it is 2 feet below.
And then covered.
Right.
I'll read that back out after we hear people talk.
Do we have anyone here to speak against it tonight? Like to say something? For it.
All right, with that being said, the recommendation for approval would be that the buffer, that they follow the landscape buffer ordinance 24, in that if the tower is abandoned, that they have to go 24 inches below grade. And that if it's not used within 18 months, not used for 18 months, that it would be removed. And co-location, oh, I read that earlier. I'm sorry. The 10-foot vertical space reserved, and at no cost. Oh, buffer as required in future.
For question, comments, can I get a motion to come out of public hearing?
So moved.
Motion got a second? Second. All in favor? We're now out. Now, this District 5.
Well, we desperately need better cell service in District 5. So, I don't see an issue with approving this staff outline with the, any recommendations there. Unless you guys got any questions now.
With conditions applied.
With the conditions outlined by the staff. So I'll make a motion as such.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed? There we go.
You have a personal reason?
I got it. I've reached at least the range.
Okay.
So that's what I'm explaining.
Make sure you have a personal
That's
reason.
good enough.
That's good enough, sir. Yeah,
I'm thinking that's good enough reason.
It is.
I think so too. All right, well, number 5, the last one of the public hearing is ordinance amendment to amend the Meriwether County Official Code of Ordinances, Chapter 4, alcoholic beverages to establish rules, regulations, and fees for the sale of distilled spirits by the package as approved by referendum on March 12, 2024. Do I have a motion to go into this here?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous.
Darren's gonna be doing this one for you tonight.
Okay,
Y'all that, I'm gonna sit here, but that's not.
that's okay, sir. No problem.
Quite a, this is quite a lengthy ordinance. As Chairman pointed out, this was approved, by vote of the citizens to, March. And what we've done is we've tried to go back and rework our alcohol ordinance in order to be able to, establish this. We did the ordinance, violence and sense of rules and regulations. Doing so, I appreciate all the help, Courtney's been involved in, appreciate their help, Blue's been involved in it. Had Jared involved with it, Sanders been involved with it, and we've all worked quite hard as a city. Wanted to, just briefly look at Steve, and I'll go through it as quickly as I can. Get to the point, if you have any questions, please let me know. After we reviewed this, it really took kind of a rewrite, to a certain extent of most of our ordinance related to alcohol sales, because we had to change things here and there to be able to accommodate the distilled spirits. So should have a copy of this. Yes. And with that, Article 1 goes through, it ends up being explaining everything, defining everything, what you can, cannot do. First change that we had to make in Article 1, which is section 4.3. What we had to do with that is establish a license category for distilled spirits for sale by package. That's what we did. We added that in as a change to Article 1. Okay. Going through Article 1, let's see. We had page 7. Yes, we have to add again. With an appropriate zoning district, so it has to be an appropriate zoning district. We're going to have to add dates. We added also in number 7, page 7. We added the term distilled spirits package as well. And to that involves application process there. Most of all this other stuff still relates to this, but we didn't have to really change it. And all. Anyway, over on page 13, I'm over to page 8. There was a provision in there previously that said that you cannot lawfully sell or dispense alcoholic beverages drive through a service business. And I know that was intended that you don't want to drive up and buy a drink and drive away. But we thought, well, for alcohol beverage package sales, I know there's one in Luthersville already. There's one there. They have a little drive through. They drive through, can't consume it on premises. So we said, except for that, have that when you have drive through. But we don't have it allowed to drive through by the drink. We did it by package sales. So we did add that. Over on page 15, number 12, We changed this because it said it had to come back to the board of commissioners, and then actually out of what you guys have done on a review was allow it to just go back through once it's approved. Initial approval has to put to you guys, and then it's reapproved unless there's any issues there, through the process of the, sandwich. So, that's the policy we thought once we made that change. There, we moved into Article 2 and 17. And, a few things we need to add here. Article 2 relates to bulk beverage and wine, the original package. Originally thought about putting the distilled spirits in here, but then we thought, well, maybe it's better, since Section 1, Article 1 addresses all the rules and regulations, but we thought, well, maybe it's better just to leave this as it was. A few things we needed to change. Over on page 18, the type of outlet. It says beer, wine, but it's sold at retail by the package only if outlets containing 75% of floor space for food or other groceries. That's what you buy in the grocery store, 8%. But the distilled spirit outlet also will sell beer and wine. And they're not going to be able to beat that floor space requirement for food, grocery, and general merchandise. So we said that you could have it too much. You could sell beer and wine in a grocery store with food, with everything else, 75%, or you could sell them with specific stores and outlets that sell. So that allows your one percent. Down at the bottom, page 18, this is just a typo. We have licensee. And change the reserved numbers, make a match to the forward. It's already done. Very forward. All right, then we developed a new Article 3. We changed the old Article 3, we built a new Article 3, which we dealt with distilled spirits original package. So we developed Section 4-46. And it just says that the license fee to sell distilled spirits shall be paid by to the director of new development balance of times by the commissioners. And that's one of the things we still don't have to establish. We have to go right away. We establish that fee and the excise fee. We added that distilled spirits. The county, in addition to other taxes levied by the state, does hereby levy the excise tax of 22 cents per liter. And so the portion thereof, that allowance of excise tax is set out in state law. That's why we put up those goals. Type of outlet is 448. It may be sold only by the package only the outlets properly licensed. So you can't have for the grocery store. No distilled spirits are packaged or sold in retail, except in retail establishments that be exclusively to retail sale of alcoholic beverages package. It also does not prohibit them from being able to sell mixers and mixers and whatever they go along with, creating alcoholic beverage. Hours of sale, 449. We kept this, I think it's the same as we had with all the rest of them. And it just outlines the time. There's no package distilled spirits to be sold on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day, and they can't be sold on Election Day. Put up have an outlet. That is black out. Again, no consumption on premises. We got that. 440, 4-51 listing prices. They have to list prices. They're already on the beer and wine. Beer with this, so we have to type in each other. Let's see. Then we move on to page 20, which is distilled spirit packages, license requirements for retail beer with import requirements. General regulatory license procedures for spirit shall form Article 1. Chapter 4, very good. That was the first chapter I'm looking for, so we change all of that. All right, but that gives you the rules and regulations. Okay, the building where the business will be conducted shall be a minimum of 2,000 square feet of area, and that 2,000 square feet can be part of the cooler, storage area, spaces such as office, medical room, freight room, athletes all felt were minimum square footage. We had a larger number there when we first started developing this, and I talked to some folks in the business, they were like, wow, we have the biggest store in South of Atlanta, with those dogs. And also we had a larger minimum inventory, but we did put in an inventory of $50,000 for the square to make sales. And probably talked to a couple people in the business, they felt very. That's what. And, on the retail license, number C, have to be located in a proper zoning district, so zoning, and we'll be bringing that back to you guys very soon to take care of that. We established also D&D there, which says, this has to be prohibited distances set forth in section 245. That talks about just schools, churches, etc. This is what we need to definitely speak with on 4-53. This is a maximum number of packages retail licenses permitted. Right now, we've said that the county should go into 5 licenses for retail sales and experience. And then number B in that section says that one because banking goes out of order that will allow us governor to keep the school package. We wanted to make sure it looked at the square footage, inventory, and the number of package sales, but we didn't have anybody in the set up package sales store. So that's why we had it a building that's big enough to handle that. And we need to limit it to the number of licenses. Wow, I think this is fairly generous considering I'm around this, but we want to get some feedback. We got to hold that number 4 or 5, 4 or less.
But to apply for a license, they would come in and show the property locations. They couldn't just come in and buy a license and hope. That's what they were doing down in Florida. They list somebody a license. You go buy one. Now somebody wants to open a liquor store. You can go, I'll sell to you for $6,000. No, you just got out.
They keep reselling.
My question there, and maybe it's my ignorance, but I thought that all liquor sales were not allowed on election day, period. Because every time it's election day, if you go in, there are locks, even in convenience stores. So that kind of threw me off that we're allowing that. But for some reason, I thought that they were stopped on election day.
There was a one. Okay. Now, this was already in our ordinance that way.
Okay.
With him asking that question, I was gonna ask this other two. Now, I don't drink, but I don't know, but is that the norm for all liquor stores, Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day? To me, that would be the busiest day.
I think so.
But you're right, well, they will. I just thought you got family in town and so, hey, let's run up here. So, but if that's the norm around.
And we use those time periods and dates and all were exactly what's on the list. Well, the people I talk to that are in business, that's reasonable. And that does need just a display area. That doesn't need just display area. That is the entire building. So they would have to have 2,000 square foot of display area. They just have to have a building that's that big. What we wanted to prevent was some guy just from coming in and saying, hey, I got this little, shop out here on the side of the road and fruit stand. I want to convert it into this and sell alcohol.
I mean, I understand you gotta make a thing, but 2,000 on my 50.
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's a big deal to make.
That includes all the space. That includes even the closet.
Yes.
It's not very big by the time you get employee break room, and bathrooms and
Storage.
and a garage is full.
Like me, it is.
I think originally we had maybe that much in displays. It's like, wow, that's what we got into. That's a huge display place of, alcohol. And I don't know what the answer is to it. I mean, we chose the people I talked to who were in the business said, I think that would work for us.
Well, I think that stipulation on it will make it more legitimized in some instances than just rolling one up.
Which is what we wanted to try to avoid too. But all these things are up for change. That's why we're having the public hearing on it. And so if there's things you guys want to change in this, like the building square footage, let us know. I do know we had 2,000 square foot originally for this building. And that was that. So
I'm gonna come in and invest the county, you want them to invest into a decent building that's a tax-based building too. The tax base is on square footage too. Property tax will be.
And so, just moving on, we'll come back to those, discussing anything you guys want to. We said no court operated or amusement machines on the premises. We don't need people hanging around and playing things. On the electric advertising signs, have to be only owned with the open for the public. Or owned on the path. The stock must be kept on premises. You can't keep it off premises. We did say to allow only one public entrance. The premises needs to be open to view in the over on the club. Those from the street, what somebody walking out of the backside where they leave, you can see what they got. Access to other establishments prohibited. You can't have it as part of the with the building, a big building that services flea market or something, you can't access it by other buildings, because it needs to be where it's clearly public. And of course, signage, we said that the signage needs to go forward and meet all of the sign ordinance conditions. And again, we reworked the section for reserve from 449, 4-59 to 4-64. It's something needs to be added. Then from there, we went in and the next one, because we had now taken the Article 3, we had to change the other articles in the document too. So we changed Article 3, which was on-premise consumption of alcohol, to Article 4. Okay, we did change Article 4 to Article 5 to address private clubs. We changed nothing in the language or there. We changed Article 5 to Article 6 for wholesalers. Changed Article 6 to Article 7 for domestic foreign wineries. And last of all, we changed Article 7 to Article 8 for foreign books. We did not make any changes within the text of those, only that we changed the building system. That's a quick view. What would work to?
I see.
If you start adding orders, changing orders, it's not bad. Put that in, you got to see where else if they hit it. And so that's where they work with it. I
Appreciate everybody worked on it. Anybody got any other questions or concerns?
One time that speak.
County voted for it, so. Yeah, it was on the ballot, so.
And we tried to put enough in there, but it's not gonna end up in somebody's neighborhood.
No, we don't. So. We'll have a motion to come out of the public hearing on ordinance amendment. So moved. A motion got say. On favor? We're back out. So do we vote to accept this?
Vote on accepting it. I will go back and work with Nathan to put it into ordinance for that. We'll do food books, and staff will work on the fees. Work that back, establish the fees for your license. And we'll also work on the
Being said, do I have any motion to accept this ordinance amendment?
So moved.
Second. Second, Mr. Collins, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you for all the hard work. No appointments. Unfinished business, approval of wellness program.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, at the last meeting, I forgot to bring up the wellness program during the insurance discussion. We currently have 120 out of 165 full-time employees on medical plan. That's 73% of our employees. So staff is recommending that we implement a wellness program. It's roughly around $30,000. Anthem has allocated $15,000 used towards it. By doing this, we will be able to educate our employees on what needs to be done when they get their biometric screenings and help them achieve a healthier lifestyle and hopefully start bringing their claims. And there's some literature behind it from EHG, and I believe that was the wellness providers that we had a few years back.
And Anthem provides $15,000.
Yes, sir. $15,000 out of 30,000. County would actually be on about 15,250 on their estimate of how many employees would fall into the categories that would need screening help.
Any other questions from the board?
You're saying it'd be out of the general fund is written here.
Yes, sir. It would come out of employees' other benefits.
Motion to approve this wellness program.
So move.
Motion, got a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Next on the list is confirmation of the county paying insurance premium increase for employees from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. When this was presented, we had the incorrect data for NFP. Instead of 81 employees, we have 120 employees on our insurance. For the coverage for the remaining of the year, for the 3 months, it would actually be 176,583. And we have 225,000 left in the budget roughly. So we're covered for fiscal year 24. Additional costs for FY 25 will be roughly $566,500. So, yes, sir. Additional.
Say that number again, 500.
566,500. And that's with all 120 employees with no cost added to the employees. They would stay at the $149.50 a month for single coverage. The staff recommends approval of it, just to retain our employees, and hopefully the wellness program brings that number down. We just ask this as a one-time that the board would absorb this cost for the employees.
And as you mentioned, we have money to cover it now,
Yes, sir. And in the budget,
but next year, they're probably gonna hit us with another price increase. That's
generally, that's the trend we're seeing, but we're hoping with the wellness program, those claim numbers will come down. But it may take a couple of years, but the budget will be justified for any increases for all employees, fully staffed. And with the revenues of additional properties coming in on Northern.
And who actually will be promoting to the employees, encouraging them to do this wellness program and help get it down and so forth? So
We will do an open enrollment, and then we'll form a wellness committee, and we will encourage every employee that is enrolled to participate in the program. We can't force them, but we can highly encourage them to participate in it. And we would, with the wellness committee that we form, we also hold
we can encourage them just in case we come again in the future. So to be helping us while we help them.
correct.
And we'll also be working with their department heads to encourage them to participate in activities.
I'll just make sure we move forward and that with somebody don't go, I didn't know nothing about it.
No, we're going to promote the wellness program, open enrollment. We'll have a wellness committee. We're going to continue to make sure they're doing their job. Employees are reporting. We get monthly reports from them. And we'll stay on top of it and make sure the wellness program is going good.
Any other questions, concerns from the board?
No, the only thing I want to say, based on the 566,500, with the 120 employees that we actually have on there, that's increasing what the county pays each year, $4,720 to each employee. And take that at a yearly of 2,080 hours per year, it adds another $2.27 per hour really to that employee's pay that the county would be taking on. It just doesn't reflect in their pay, but it's really $2.27 per hour based on the 2080 annually. So we are increasing some of that by us coming in on the back end. I just wanted that on the record.
And what you're asking us to approve now will be 225,000. Not the 566. That's the next fiscal year. We got a budget to generate. You can see that we're going to account for that.
It'd be, this is the vote on the confirmation that was sent out to the board when we had to give NFP an answer by that Monday.
That's what I'm saying. That was not to exceed $225,000. So are you saying we're supporting what we did earlier, or that, hey, what you agreed to do back then is now $566,000?
It's increased because they gave us the 81 employees, not 120 that we actually have covered. We have false data from NFP that didn't get caught until I ran the numbers through payroll and saw how many employees we actually had on staff. Or actually covered.
Outdated about 40.
Based on missing a number by $250,000. Is that kind of something you want to be doing business with in the first place? They missed the proposal by $250,000.
Mr. Commissioner, that has been highly suggested to NFP, my frustration about giving us misdata and me presenting misdata to the board on outdated. They claim it was an average over the years, but I went back through October to current and we've been averaging around 110 employees. So I don't know where that 81 number.
So legally, when they presented us a proposal and we accepted it, what legal ground do we have to hold them to that?
I haven't seen, I think that's all our acceptance. I don't think they're up. I don't think you're bound by that. I don't think they can say, this is X. Oh, by the way, we're wrong. It's $250,000.
Yeah, well, what I'm thinking, definitely say no, but then do they pull coverage then? Acceptance, if we sign anything, do you have a contract and sign it based on acceptance?
We haven't got any
Right.
contract yet. We're anticipating all the contracts come in next week.
But they could just say, okay, we pull coverage.
Board discussions.
We table this to the next meeting, give us time to dig more into this. What does that do to the benefits package of employees of the county?
We got open enrollment scheduled for June 10th to the 16th, I believe. They need a finalized number because they need to get all the booklets together with open enrollment packages. Like I said, this basically was the email that Jared sent out to all the commissioners. We're just getting confirmation from the email.
From staff, I mean, Jared, I mean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a recommendation that we move forward.
I don't think we really have a choice at this point.
Good way of putting it. Yeah.
We'll put a lot in jeopardy if we table or don't move forward with it at this point. So saying all that, I make a motion that we do move forward.
We got a motion.
I will second because I don't think we got a choice.
We really don't. We don't want to hurt our employees that by no means. So we got a second, all in favor? Opposed?
And I don't want to hurt the employees, but I just want to be on record as
No, I understand.
And we will be looking at other options, commissioners.
Long term, yeah.
All right, number 3, approved contract with Southern Sky LLC with chair to sign for fireworks on July 6, 2024.
Yes, sir. The contract was in the packet for the commissioners' consideration. We had some negotiation with Southern Sky about the content of the contract, and they worked with us on that. They removed indemnifying language that was a little bit of concern where we would hold them harmless and not seek restitution for certain things, and they removed that. Was very happy to see that. They also softened language on any payment for postponement or cancellation. If we did have to postpone due to weather, there is a 25% or we have to pay 25% of the contract, which is unfortunate. But when you take into account the fact that they have to mobilize and get their manpower together and whatnot, and it's based on weather, which is generally kind of a game time decision when they've already come out with their materials and whatnot. So all in all, we felt it was, reasonable. So we would, we would, offer that for your consideration.
And I'm sure every Fourth of July fireworks throughout this country has to worry about weather. So
Yes, sir.
it is what it is. All right, any questions?
I do. Are we 100% definite that this is taking place? Everything's lined up, all the clearances from the health department on food and things like that? I didn't know, that's why I asked.
So I know we're at the point where, some sponsorship, money has been, collected. We've, really the, update for the fireworks event, was in there as to where we are on each thing. We haven't, committed, money, but we have, gone far as, getting everybody assigned to their task, developing a traffic plan for the permit, doing the research for what's required and whatnot. So that's the stage we're in.
Think y'all signed a contract with a band or something too?
We have that in here next. Yes, sir. We hadn't signed it yet, but it's in here next.
Further discussion, do I have a motion to move forward with the contract with Southern Sky LLC to chair this on? Motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Yep. Oh, I see that next one. Approve the band contract for Chris McDaniel LLC for July 6th fireworks for chair to sign.
Yes, sir. This was another one that got trimmed back a little bit just to get the language right. And I need to thank the attorneys too, Nathan and Michael. They looked over these things and helped us kind of stay on track time wise and keep things moving. But this was one that the attorneys looked over as well. And Nathan, I won't put words in your mouth, but I think y'all were good with the band contract, weren't you?
Make changes.
Yeah, yes.
Band contract? If not, do I have a motion to approve the band contract? A motion, a second?
I second it with the stipulations to make the changes as advised by legal.
Yes. They've already been made.
It's been made, okay.
The change has been made and the band's already signed. I think, hadn't
Yes, sir. We have the band signature on.
With his changes that were recommended, okay.
I got a motion, I got a second, all in favor?
I know there's a motion and a second on the floor, but where's the pay coming from? Is it coming out of Lake Meriwether that's paying for it, or where is it coming out of fund wise?
It should be coming out of the 25,000 we approved.
But it's coming out of what? SPOS?
Really, it was the general fund.
General fund, okay.
At this point, we're
It's a general fund,
Motion, second.
but Lake Meriwether has the funding.
All in All right, moving right into new business. Number one.
No, I think it's tired of my questions not really being looked at, but go ahead.
Consideration of moving billing provider for EMS from Elvos to ESO.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and Board Commissioner, this is currently our provider for EMS is Elevos, and staff is recommending the change to ESO pending legal review sign off for all the contracts to allow the chair to sign if legal review start. Chief Stevens and Captain Etheridge are here to speak more on it because they're more familiar with the ESO software.
Send them the revisions and they agree with the principle that made on the R and the line.
Thank you. Mr. Danny, good evening.
How are you, sir? Thank you. Just kind of go over some of this stuff. There's a lot of verbiage in it and cost and that type stuff. We're going with Elevos. We're going to change our platform from, I might as well say email to electronic. With ESO, when we go from Elevos to ESO, I won't have to communicate with a sales rep or a client rep through email. I'll have a portal where I can go on and look at the status of EMS bills, I'll be able to look at what payments have been made on those bills. If a person is deceased, we can upload death certificates. The actual patient or client will have same access to this portal. They can log on and see where they stand as far as what their insurance is paid. It just streamlines our whole billing process. With that also is going to come some stuff on the fire side and doing reports with our fire reports and things like that. It's going to allow us to track maintenance on facilities, maintenance on apparatus. I know I've been questioned several times when we go to purchase ambulances and trucks and things. How many times have you worked on it? What have you spent on it? Well, right now you can ask Chief Garrett. I go ask him what we spent on a truck. He will bring me a folder that's about 10 times this thick. You know, with this, I can track when we put that truck out of service, he gets a notification when he logs into it of why it was put out of service. He goes and Intel fixes it, puts it back in service, and we track the maintenance of it that way. So it's going to help us a lot, streamline a bunch of that process. We'll go right now. We're currently paying our billing company 5.2% of the collections that we get, and that'll increase to 5.85% with this new company. I think is very reasonable. And on the fire side, to track a lot of that fire, there'll be a $18,685 annual fee, and all they can go up maximum each year is 3.5%. So I've got that money in my budget. We've worked on this for a while, going back and forth, and that money comes from our EMS licensing fees. So last year, the governor took and they done away with the EMS licensing fees, and $18,685 is what I was paying to license the ambulances we have. We don't have to pay that anymore. So I already have that money in my budget. I'm just going to use it to try to streamline our process and get us a better product as far as our pulling information. They give us feedback on what information we collect. You know, like we got to have signatures. We got to have copies of insurance cards. We got to have copies of IDs, and they grade each employee or each provider on that information that they get. So I can instantly look at it and say, Captain Average, you're 50% on getting your information. You got to figure out why. You got to get that number up. You got to get the pictures of the ID. You got to get the insurance information. And overall, they see an increase of about 7% when you go with this company. So they see increase of collections on our part about 7%. So we're going up, 0.75% to get a 6.25% increase theoretically. So, I mean, we've pleased with it. We've worked with it a little bit. We've had some demos and things like that. So I think it would be very beneficial to us.
I think also in the past, people call you and tell you that they keep getting these bills, they've already paid it, and you have to rely on them. You can go look at it, find out.
Absolutely. I can look on it, and I can even walk that person through it and say, hey, this is how you can view this. So.
Any questions or discussion from the board?
You already have the funding to pay for the
Yes, sir.
additional cost.
Yes, sir.
You agree with that?
Are you currently under any kind of contract with,
No, it's just a month to month, you know, our contract expired several years ago.
so we would, be effective June 1st or July?
No, it's going to take about a 90-day transition. You know, so it's going to take us a little while. I think, what'd you say, John, by state law, we have to give 90 days to
We
the
have a
prior.
90-day notice contract that legal needs to review and get okay on it before we move forward. And that's why we put in a staff recommends contingent upon legal review and approval. We send out a 90-day notice and the contracts for the chips.
One other question, I'm curious on the, especially like on the equipment, and I guess tracking of the, whether or not, equipment stays serviced and in, I guess, working order because of the problems we've had in the past with, maybe not so good equipment that we've had to, will this give us a better idea of what's going on with the equipment?
Absolutely. Anybody want to take the field trip? We'll go over the station, the old station, and look at my dry erase board that I got hanging up right now. And that's how that's Chief Garrett comes in every morning and says, this one's in service, this one's out of service. And I take a glance at it every day. And he does that off of email. So I can pull this apparatus. We can put dates that it was put in service originally when we purchased it, and then things that have been done to it. You know, I can pull an apparatus and look at it just like I can an employee and grade that apparatus and say, we spent $50,000 on that truck in the last year. Is it something that we want to keep on inventory, or is it something that we want to look at and possibly start trying to replace? So I think it's going to help us.
Okay, one other question now, and this goes back to having toured a facility that actually, and I believe it was something very similar to this. But when they work calls, all the supplies that were on the ambulance or whatever, and all of that was tracked through the system also. Not only the maintenance of the equipment, but the supplies used or what was needed for restocking of that particular vehicle.
This
or
will be
whatever.
instrumental in that as well, because I'm working with a company right now and we're getting, we're working out lockers, and they have RFID tags on them. So they're radio frequency. So if you open the box, you pull something out, you close it, it'll attach it to this type report. It will communicate with the same report. So it's definitely going to help us in that aspect. And also, like you said, itemizing what we use, you know, being able to say we use this, this, and this, and this on this call. Now that's not available to anybody because it's tied to a person. So some of that stuff's protected under HIPAA. We'll have to get that from our billing company. And only certain people can get access to what drugs or medications were used on certain calls. But yes, it will help us track when we use this, and keep a log and a record of that as well.
Sounds like an improvement.
It is. I'm telling you, it
Huge
really
improvement.
is.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and let's move with and at least the 90-day window, but let's move toward going with this particular company from EMS to ESO. No, okay, too many E's in there. Okay, so we're going from ELEVOS to ESO, right? Okay.
Change it upon legal review.
Okay.
Got a second?
Okay.
I'll second it. Got a second? All in favor? Opposed? Look forward to hearing how that works, man. Number 2, intergovernmental agreement for development, plan review, permitting, inspection services, and code enforcement for the town of Long Oak, with chair to sign. Sandy.
Yes, sir. Okay, our intergovernmental agreement with Long Oak has expired, and they have asked us if we could renew it, and they have signed their portion, and they're just asking for you guys to sign the portion for the county. There's nothing's changed. We've always been doing theirs. We've always done the permitting for them and their code enforcement for them. So nothing has changed as far as what we've been doing. We're just updating the intergovernmental agreement.
But, we do recommend the, body, what we have, we recommend
Approval of this. What we would ask is that as we sign this and work with Lone Oak, we have an outstanding issue with Lone Oak that we've been trying to get signed for a extended period of time. And we would like to have them work with us to get that document signed while we're signing this document. So while I don't want to hold that over the head, we do need to get that document done. And so my thing would be approval with them working with us to execute the existing outstanding document, which involves a lease of fire department property. Thank you.
Do you want to say working with or in condition of them signing it? That's what I was gonna
I'd
put.
rather have a condition.
We need it
You
signed.
make it signed and we'll do this. If not,
Well, then I'll make the motion for this intergovernmental agreement based upon and allow the chair to sign based upon the fact that Lone Oak signs the additional contract that we have been holding out.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Second is Commissioner Ward. All in favor. And we get all of them. Number 3, Peace Clause renewal process. Who's heading that up? There.
You might as well stay at the table.
I'm working on some other.
Multitasking.
Okay. Here. You can get it, it's a lot of work here.
Right here, okay. So we have attached booklets here, the government agreement referendum ballot language is going to be necessary for T-Splosh review. These documents have been updated to include the new distribution formulas based on the updated 2020 census numbers, because the documents for last time had the previous census numbers. So the first step in this is to have a public meeting with all the cities to discuss projects for inclusion in the T-Splosh program and reach an agreement on the projects as well as the percentages as referenced in the IDA. Of course, once that project is complete, and we have everyone's approval, the Board of Commissioners will need to approve the referendum and ask the Board of Elections to place this question on the ballot on November 5th, 2023 election. And what we're asking today is, I really want to bring this forward and let you guys know where we are. We've gone through, I think the attorneys have actually reviewed this documentation. It's a lot of, it's a big document, includes all the language and all the agreements and everything. But we have those done and I think everything's ready. We're going to begin actually tomorrow with having staff have some informal meetings with the cities, mayors, and the clerks and city managers, just to answer any questions they have, tell them what's going to be coming up. And at that same time period, what we're going to do is to develop a time with work for everyone for all meeting. You guys can sit down with all the cities and discuss this, go back over and do the projects. And there's certain advertisement times that are involved with that and everything. You have to have it done by, we have to have it done by, or I'd like to get it done by the end of July, but my goal would be much quicker. I'm looking to hopefully have it done either way by the end of June, which we did not know get it done.
The meetings with the cities and everything.
Cities and the documentation and everything. Have it maybe back for y'all's June the 25th meeting to call for it, or if not, the first meeting. What we're going to do is go ahead, and I think Jared and I are scheduled already. I think some of the cities think got quicker this week. We're still waiting on one, but we just called them a chance to get in touch with them. So that's what we need to do next. And then, of course, after that meeting, we'll ask you guys to establish a date and time and hold that call meeting. And the entire process, again, it's got to be completed at the end of July, but not going to get it much quicker than that. Once you approved for inclusion of the ballot, the county and the city will need to go out and set up some informational programs and schedule some meetings with various citizens through civic clubs. Educate as many people as possible about the benefit. We can't go out and promote it, advertise it, we can't spend county money on it, but we can't answer questions. We can't tell them what we've done, what we're looking to do. And we did that last time around. Successful. We're going to get the Peace Clause established. And we've done a lot of work with this. All this gravel with the citizens and we're going to see going down right now. Roads that have been paved, the dirt road since inception was teaching. The bridge, because you have to have a certain amount of it be like a regional plan. That was teaching. About something else. So, with you tonight is the intergovernmental agreement, all these documents, quite a bit. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, but I just wanted to kind of get the process kicked off. Meeting with the cities starting next week and finishing starting this week and finish it next week. So when I see you guys again, I hope we'll have a date and time when we set that call meeting and we'll be ready to do this one. Once we have the call meeting, then following meeting, you guys can go ahead and call for the referendum. And maybe we'll do it at the close of that meeting. So we'll check.
It'll be on this year's November election.
This year's November election, it will go into effect April 25th. So we won't have a you would have a drop if
If it's approved.
And Theron did a phenomenal job last time we went through this, presenting it to the cities and people out there. So, Jared, have you had any experience in doing this?
Yes, sir, I actually have. We, successfully had a T-SPOS, passed down in, Taylor County when I worked there before. One of the things that was really resonated with the residents was that a lot of T-SPOS money goes towards, equipment that maintains all roads. So it's not just a road near this person here or that person there, but it's really the quality of all roads that we can provide.
We have to answer your questions. We have, I mean, there's, I think last time, like, we got we with it. Yeah. Show it to work too.
So do we need to authorize you guys to informally meet with each municipality? Sound like you already got one
Yeah,
set
we
up.
got
So
scheduled.
we didn't-
Y'all, we're just wanting you guys to know what we're doing. We will have full review, so that the video can get closed to the-
You send, yeah, please send that out.
This will be very important. I think it's time to shine. I'll answer your questions that just. Yes, you see the leak, it's a lot of work. It's a good.
We don't need to take any action.
Don't you come back to talk. Now, we'll have that, call meeting, thing.
Thank you. Moving right along to number 4, billing changes to the county community code supplement and codification services.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, this is the muni code that Allison's been working on. It's the same software, but they have changed their billing. They want to go to an annual subscription instead of per page. In the long run, it would save a significant amount of money. For example, alcohol, once it's uploaded, they're going to charge, I couldn't tell you how much per page.
Based on average of how often we're sending in supplements. So instead of charging us per page, it's a lot. Sometimes it could be not a lot. So they took an average, that's the way we cut it. Instead of charging us per page. Average of what we use to send in our supplements.
The subscription is projected to be $2,080.80. Subscription over what we're paying currently, and that's 10% modest increase to cover operational cost. I mean, I think the last one I signed off on pay was roughly around that amount, and it was probably about 5 or 6 weeks. So
Swope says we're adding other things other than that.
They changed over what happened with Civic Plus. So they have changed their subscription services. Right now, you're paying, the full service supplementation subscription would be $2,080.80. And then we have to, we get a discount of $87.50. That's for administrative support fee paid for $531. There is no annual print supplementation service. That will begin when the ordinances received from us on an annual basis. So there's nothing to see yet. There is an online code posting. $800. They're talking, we need to get 6 printed copies. There is an annual recurring supplement for the initial term is 2009 4330. And then the supplement is subject to up to Right now, the total would be $3,030.
This would be paid for out of the IT subscription expense.
The budget accounted for this kind of.
Yes, sir. We added additional money in the IT subscription account for events like this.
Basically the cost of doing business, right?
That's right. Everybody's on the subscription.
But you've got to go with Municode. I mean, there's no other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the only game in town. So,
Let us know about the billing changes. We don't do this take action. But it doesn't say approval, this is billing change.
we probably need to approve it. Yeah. Yeah. I make a motion that let's go ahead and approve it. Yeah. Well, I'll make the motion to approve the changes that, for the Municode supplement and codification services. And it's coming out of the IT subscription, account. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. General fund.
And, do we need legal to review or anything? So you've already done that. So that's my motion.
I'll second. I got a second, all in favor?
So,
Number 5, filming permit request, Woodbury Research Facility.
Oh, me again. Okay. So before you guys, I think you have, it's in your packet, that with this company, Rochelle, they have, actually filmed on Cove Road once before, about a year ago, actually. And they are coming back before us with another permit to do some more filming. They're asking to film, on June the 11th. The prep days are June the 6th, actually through June the 12th. And, we do have the certificate of insurance, and, they've already spoken with the sheriff department as well. So, but they are here. I have Billy and Andrea both here with the company to ask any questions.
We're just gonna ask, it sounds like since it says, residents and businesses will still have access to the property, with just a slight delay during the driving scenes on 611. It sounds like there shouldn't be much impact to emergency response or anything if.
No, sir, the idea would be we'd give out resident passes for the residents, so the officers on each end of our closure could let people in pretty easily. But just keep everything safe. And then we'd always leave a fire lane and have, I think, spoke to Lieutenant Gilbert today, 5 or 6 officers with us on the shoot day, so I think it won't be anywhere safer.
Yeah.
Questions from the board? Staff recommendations to. With that being said, then do I have a motion to, film department, the Woodbury Research Facility? So moved. That motion, will have a second. Got a second, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6, deductibles for Meriwether County's medical plan removed by an option.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, during the NFT presentation, they offered a buyout plan. After running the calculations, that buyout plan does not benefit employees. It will cost them additional $500 more a year, and they will be on the full $2,000 bill. We asked them to run it $2,000. They would pay $500 additional, and they would pay the full $2,000 deductible. So staff recommends that we remove the buyout option for open enrollment purposes. We asked for it just to get a comparison to see what the cost would be to the employee, and it's not favorable. The second one with MedCom, our current deductible is $6,000. The county pays $4,500 after the employee pays $1,500. And that's through HRA, through MedCom, through NFP. And I reached out to NFP to find out more about MedCom, and my response was the HRA is reimbursement that MedCom administers is a way for the county to partially self-fund the health plan instead of paying higher monthly premiums for a lower deductible The county refunds part of the deductible was for those that meet the higher amount. This limits the member's liability to those that meet the deductible without the county paying for a lower deductible of all members. Basically, it's just employees pays 1,500 and then Medcom pays the 4,500. It's county, so county funded through HR. It's what we currently have in place now.
There's no additional cost to the county, what we currently do.
It's currently exactly the same. We just need an approval to continue.
We keep coming back with these insurance costs. It's just, here's another one.
This is one that HR asked me to bring forward to the board because just make sure we keep it in place for what we've been doing in the past.
Any discussion, concerns? Question?
I'm confused as to what we need to do. I mean, so
Approve the MedCom and to remove the buyout is staff's recommendation. The buyout and the approve the MedCom at the current levels that.
I'm the only one that was confused. Okay.
Period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to do that. I'll second it.
Got a motion.
Thank y'all.
Adam, second, Brian, all in favor?
Thank you, commissioners. That's all I.
Okay.
Number 7, under new business, award the 2024 road pension.
Come on, Terry.
Chair of the Commissioners, for the district board, we roads are going to go. The proposal status of standards specification for the square foot square yard action. Square yard gives us a reason to evaluate the cost of the all of the
Quantities of the roads. What's approved by the commissioners, then we will mark the roads, measure areas need to be worked on the roads. And they put together that list for the proposals. We did open the bids on Friday, May 17th. We did receive 2 bids on that. Have in the package. Since that time, we've been asked the amounts and I won't mention it right now because we will talk about possibly about another method we may see. It's been suggested that maybe we seek a per ton asphalt price as well to kind of compare how that may go into the per square yard. We know the per square yard price we have is 220 pounds of asphalt, which means it is basically 2 inches thick. And so we can either move forward with this with the bids, you can see them there with the low bid, or we could go back and hold this and issue another proposal for a price by tons, and then come back and have you guys kind of analyze. There's pros and cons to each. You may get a little cheaper price on the per ton, but you may also end up with wasted material dealing with this is hot patch. And so it's not going to be whatever's left over, we're not going to be able to, we're going to bill us for it and we'll be able to use it. So we're just looking for a way to be able to quantify it rather than just have something go out and do it. So we do whatever you guys want to do with it, but that was a suggestion, that made just actually today. And Bill Caulfield and I have talked about it. Again, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, but it would give us an opportunity to kind of compare the price.
Well, if the board don't mind, I'd like to share my thoughts on that, because that's the kind of world I've worked in for 40 some years. The majority of the time when you're dealing with asphalt, you go by tonnage, not by the yards. And the reason for that is 1 ton of asphalt equals 9 yards, 2 inches thick. What's that? Yeah, at 2 inches. That's what they call 9 at 220 pounds. That's the bid says. So what you got to be concerned with is really the going rate. If you did go by yard, but it's supposed to be to go by tonnage, it should be around $35 to $40 a yard. And the reason for that is if a ton equals 9 yards of asphalt, and we accept the bid of $125 a yard, that's $1,125 a ton one dump truck load holds 18 tons. That would total out to $20,250 for one tandem dump truck load asphalt based on the yardage, because the way it's reading, 220 pounds. So 1 yard, 220 pounds is at 2 inches thick. You cannot fix a pothole at 2 inches thick. It has to be at least 4 inches thick minimum. Cut the edges, square it out, clean it out, put it in there. So, we could be at a very high expense. I just think it should be offered out there just for us to compare as a board, as a team, what the difference would be based on tonnage, not by the yard. And obviously, these companies aren't not gonna run over here and just do a 10 by 10 hole on Cedar Rock Road. Because they're like anybody else, it's gonna have to be a substantial amount of potholes per trip. Either this road, 3 roads, and so forth.
And we chose this as we were talking about. This is where we quick dash, because we were deep in between. Say it to 4 inches or whatever. And so we know what price would be based on that. We could try it the other way, that in addition to the asphalt price, you got, as you know, you've got, material costs, you've got some pack that put in, you've got clean the hole, cut it. So there's other things that go with that, but, we at least give us an opportunity. There may be some roads that we may want to do. Where there may be other roads we want to do for sure. Prices of both, we have to choose what we want to do. It has a lot of potholes. That things are like the work that has a pretty bad that we need to just get fixed and not get leading. But use another thing. So if the board desires, we will go back and do that. It'll be pretty simple with turbo power. RFP tag, change specifications, and then let it back out from there for the back.
If you do it by the yard, do you have to go out? Somebody got to go out on the road and measure how many yards it's going to take?
Yeah, well, we really do that. Even if you did it by a ton, but I'm not saying the contractor would, let's just say you get 10 tons, put out 6 tons, show us a bill when you got 10 tons. They certainly need to do it, put it on that road. So you need to kind of answer you want. What we would play was really marketing. So that when we have it, it won't be that. I mean, this is about that side.
Well, something, regardless of who does it or how they do it, somebody's going to keep checking on that.
That's what we're trying to.
But what you gotta realize, if the going rate of other counties, if the going rate is $250 to $300 a ton, okay, per ton. If we take that rate we're looking at, you take 1 ton, which is 9 yards times $125, that rate's $1,125 a ton, with other counties are getting it down to $300 a ton. So that's why I'm saying, that's a big
That's
difference.
fine. You go and look and see these comparisons.
And your weight tickets all come in on tons. When they go to the asphalt plant and load up, they'll either say 6 tons, 8 tons, to 18 tons max on the road. They won't say yards.
Yeah, that's right. But what we would still need to do is verify that's.
Oh, yeah.
Approximately what we do. Probably that. But anyway, whichever way you got the 2 meetings. We don't have the roads, which once we get this finalized and back. But probably the advertising is probably advertising.
It's a big difference going on a tandem load, like $300 a ton to bring your property 48 miles or $5,000 truckload, and do it by the yard, it's $20,000 truckload.
But you're going to have situations, do it by the yard, not, like I say, it's going to be paid.
there is, so six will have to look, we try, we look.
So I think I'm hearing you say that we need to table this until we get additional information.
You guys desire to look at it, and I would say this table is, ask us to go back out. And see
Okay. As well as the roads that we would address.
They need those roads too, so. What we would do is, once we have this new process, we won't have to put back slide. Or this road.
Okay.
Would go out and walk that road, turn it out, we could out. And then we can convert it back to the roads too. So we'll see what place.
I'll make a motion to table this until, staff can review and bring it back to us.
I'll second it. We need a motion to have a bid by tonnage.
Yeah, I'll just.
Include that.
Yeah.
As well as the list of roads.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right. Right along, report from the county administrator, Jared.
Yes, sir. Continue to work on a number of personnel matters. Just want to say too, Miss Valerie does a great job with that. She has a lot going on. Participated in the alcohol ordinance discussion, attended the, Industrial Development Authority meeting. We had a meeting about the fireworks event as well out at the lake. Appreciate everybody that's participating in that. Also had a meeting, to develop the traffic plan with, Chief Stevens and, Lieutenant, Gilbert, where we, talked about the parking and, access for emergency vehicles, general layout, security, things like that. And of course, also the contract that we've already been through. Attended a, tax assessors meeting, the, department head meeting, our agenda meeting. Sat down, had a good meeting with Blue where we just talked about everything Blue's working on and coordinating and whatnot. Enjoyed that. Went to the planning commission meeting. Yeah, I want to say I really enjoyed that in their process. They're thorough. They ask a lot of good questions. They don't just go by whatever information's presented. I really thought they did a good job with it. Of course, watched Allison's graduation online, and just want to mention too that during the program they said that is one of their most challenging programs, the one that Allison completed. So proud of her. Of course, continue to send updates to the commissioners by email, and touch base with department heads to make sure some items are on track. Talked with Miss Valerie, started discussing some future personnel policy updates. Attended a department head pay scale meeting, and started talking about the evaluation process, how that would work with employees, and just kind of gave my thoughts on that, so how that might work. Of course, we have some jail projects going. There's the roof, plumbing, doors and locks, and HVAC. The jail roof has actually been repaired. Bids have been approved for the jail doors and locks, as well as the plumbing repairs and replacement. The cost there is above $1 million. We also have bids back for the courthouse roof and draft RFPs for HVAC at the courthouse and removal of any mold and mildew. That project will again go over $1 million. Just want to mention too, it came up about material falling from the courthouse. Had spoken with Mr. Lee in maintenance about that. And he said that's something we're going to have to address after the roof is repaired, because the moisture from the roof contributes to that. So that's something that's on our radar as well. Finally, it was also mentioned that T-SPOS meetings are being set up with the cities. Look forward to that and get to spend some time with them. Also, just wanted to thank Matt over in IT. Had an IT issue, and Matt is always great about being very accessible and always somehow addresses it, no matter what the issue is, and does a lot extra to go above and beyond, whether it be out at Lake Meriwether or anywhere else. So we appreciate him. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Want to hand this? What I'm handing out to y'all commissioners is an update on our pathways building. I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Before we get into it though, just kind of a recap, very similar to what Jared had to say, Industrial Development Authority, Water and Sewer, Tax Assessor, Department Heads, Planning Commission. Also did Leadership Meriwether. And then another thing that was sent out to you guys was feedback on the Woodbury development of regional impact. We will be having internal meetings on that to come up with some questions and comments regarding Woodbury. That will be coming on later this week. So for the pathways building, we wanted to get some direction from you guys. As a reminder, we originally looked at this back in late 23, came back with the $500,000 or so price tag. We still have the remaining deadlines for our November elections. There are state deadlines and dates that we have to hit. So basically for this project, we have a date, a move-in date, a drop-dead date of July 1. It may be a little flexible to July 15th. And since the end of last year, we have been looking at ways to get this done and get this done on time and under budget. Over the last couple of weeks, 3 to 4, 5 weeks, facilities and maintenance staff have been working inside the Pathways building to start getting the area ready, doing demolition, prepping the electrical, marking the areas, pulling up flooring, a lot of the beginning stuff that needs to be done.
Who's been doing that?
Public Works, Facilities, Building and Maintenance.
Was this proposal of $500,000 approved?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. It was not.
Why is Public Works out there working on an item that wasn't even approved to be worked on?
No. It has been approved to be worked on. It was the
What
$500,000.
funds?
No, it's not costing anything. The 500, the original proposal was not approved. So we started looking at ways to save money and do it under that budget. In order to do that, we sent Public Works and the buildings and maintenance staff out there to do some of the demolition, do some of the pre-electrical, do some of the other work that needs to be done.
Instead of, see, I'm sorry to keep interrupting,
No,
but
that's fine.
we got all these other buildings that we've been trying to get work done on that people actually inhabiting, and this one's sitting empty. And we're sending Public Works employees out there to dismantle a building that nobody's in. Under whose guidance and direction?
Yes, sir, but it is for an election that is happening in November of
Who
24. that we
approved it
have-
to be done?
We basically did. I
I
mean,
don't believe we did. Is anybody else?
over a year ago.
Yes.
When we started discussing pathways. RFP was approved.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's different than actually going over there and working. RFPs go get, what is it gonna cost to do
But we,
this? It's
this-
different than
this-
sending
this-
county staff out there.
let
to
me
work.
remind you, these board members and all said that we didn't have 500,000 to spend to figure it out on contract.
Right.
So what the alternative in order to get use of the building and get elections moved, because you've got problems in that building, to get them located. And there's some needs that have to be done that when I say we, I thought this was collective board was moving forward with using that building.
I remember the conversations doing that, and it was a good idea, a large facility area that was uninhabited, we didn't have the money, and I thought it stopped there. If you can find me minutes where I did agree to that and it was done,
Building
apologize.
the problems that's going to develop if you don't do something with it.
Because we have buildings that need addressing now that have people in them.
You've got staff that needs to be moved out there.
And we're also renting an additional building for the extra storage, which is costing on a monthly basis. But I do not think that this board has to approve something that is done in-house. It did come before us with the 500,000, but the administrators have the authority over the county when we hire them to make the internal decisions.
What, very interesting, I'll remember that later.
Going back
Because we don't have that title.
$500,000, we did bring that, you guys, my remembrance was, you guys said, hey, that's too much money to see if it get it done cheaper. So we looked at some options on that, and what we're trying to do is see how much we could do in-house and then bring back for what we can't do. And have that approved by you guys.
But an
We wouldn't
RFP.
need to move that office, it's things not gonna pass the state inspections. We got a actually separated building. We're not gonna do that.
I think I understand his confusion because I'm confused too, and I'll tell you what, we did have the discussion. And it said 500-some thousand, and we said, well, we can't afford that. And we've had several discussions about we need to move the election department over here, maybe move the tax office over here. We're gonna do something with this building over here. But I don't recall us ever going, okay, we're not gonna approve 500,000, but we are gonna move forward so we can get the election department in that building. I don't recall that. It's a good idea, and I'm not saying it again, I'm just saying I don't recall an actual movement going, okay, we're gonna start getting it ready.
We got a building there that's been remodeled. It's empty. The building right next door.
Oh, it's not.
It's not empty now.
Fine, either.
They're back in full service.
They're back in full service.
Where I see,
Not the entire building.
where I see we are is Theron got the bid, 500,000. He said that's entirely too high. He did. He said, I'm gonna see if we can do it in-house or something.
Yeah, I remember all that. I just didn't know we.
But I've heard nothing else about it.
Right.
But here we are, we got the tax assessor office up there with the soffit and fascia boards rotting off of it. And so when we get through with this building out here, let's get somebody up there fixing that.
Well, I agree, we did bend that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing we've got, and you're exactly right, you see, there's people actually still need to get it. And so that's what we would try to do. They only really started working out there the last like
2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
They haven't done all the budget. And what we try to do is see what could be done. That did bring back to you guys of what we could do now. We got bids out on the jail, got bids out on the courthouse. We need to do some bids on the tax building or something. We need some more that needs to be relocated. We have another building halfway that could serve that. It's at some point in time, the board needs to be. You're right, we have half of the building we have, and we have the entire building. So the board's gonna need to decide where you want to go with it. And, you want to go down there, that building to this, or you want to put that in this old building. If you get through with that old building downtown, you're still gonna have all these books and lots of dozens. Get all the house, you have a little bitty office. Once you have windows, you can file it. So at the end of the day, it's going to look, it's going to be nice, no doubt. But it's still going to be not super close. So, you know, at some point y'all got to decide what you.
Well, it might be beneficial, you know, to have some buildings close to the courthouse.
Yes, absolutely. So that still needs to be decided, but, you know, the board of elections, believes it's already been. I haven't had a chance to come back.
Who did that? Who did that?
We actually had a meeting to where it is in the meeting of minutes that we approved one building for the building and the elections, and we also did the other for the sheriff, if that's what they so deserve. But we all voted on that, and it is in the minutes. We declared this section of the building for elections, and we declared this section of the building for the sheriff. That was declared and voted on 5-5.
It won't be that close to the election.
But it was 5, but it was across the board that we did that. We allocated those buildings for those particular areas.
And with the building needs that we have, to me, it only makes sense that you, before you start renovating old buildings with people in-house, that you actually relocate them to a more suitable building and maybe consolidate a lot of these government offices together. But
And we're gonna
just
have-
after,
It definitely makes sense. I just like, I'm agreeing with you. Just, we've had those discussions. We've been doing that for a year about going in this building, going in that building, seeing if the sheriff wants this, put bottom. We've been discussing that. I don't recall saying, all right, let's get that building ready. That's all I'm saying. I don't recall that either. Maybe I missed it.
They will only be working that.
But it needs to be done. I agree.
My thing was, based on this, we see what they do. I want to put together some RFP about what they could do, and then bring that to you guys and say, this is what. I am concerned about the timeline.
But
Nobody they have downtown, they have something, the front, ceiling they brought. It actually practically really. Are you concerned with that?
We discussed that.
And in the building we rent, like.
it's 1,000 a month.
Uh,
1,000.
security is a real big issue with it. State,
So that was the other discussion we had about going to the other building is they all have to be in a secured location. We're gonna find out what it's cost to get that secured and so forth. So I thought we were just still working on it.
yeah,
I'm glad we're getting something
technically we
done,
are.
but I thought we were.
Yeah, technically we are still. Not been a lot of dollars been doing it, but, if we're gonna make any cities try to have a November election. If this past election because of the, city situations like, had a rich, office building. It's, we were holding the election. So they have all these moving parts. I mean, that's why I think this direction would be. Well, if our staff, about all we do.
According to this timeline, we're inspecting that building this week, today.
I don't think
28th through the 31st.
of July.
We're moving machines on June the 3rd. That's already been decided and done.
That's not what. That's the timeline they gave us.
Who was that?
I think.
Lee and the contractors, and then Lee and I sitting down and looking at the calendar and looking at the deadlines and the dates. For when,
So to be clear in the minutes that I don't have a problem getting these buildings up to speed and getting them where they need to be for the employees. What I'm having a problem with is that I don't understand and can't remember, and I have all the meeting notes and minutes from every meeting, so I'll go home and pull them. I don't recall where this is a unified board decision to move in this direction with impending costs coming that we haven't approved. Finalize this plan, there's gonna be significant cost. With people and machines already sitting there, which is forcing the hand for the cost there, under the disguise of the election's coming, the election's coming. And that was not approved by this board.
Those things we were forced, not, I mean, they were trying to force.
How's you gonna do that?
They wanted it $500,000, was that good about it?
Oh, yeah, but they know they can't get it, so what do? Let's just move the equipment all over, and now they gotta finish doing these things so we can have.
the equipment hasn't been moved.
They keep moving it until everything is set up. If they have to have 24 hours. Have to have all these things, they're a long. They won't move it over there. It's very key, everything is secured. How what it needs to be is check, double check. They're a long way.
I'm quiet, quit dragging it out. I'm gonna find them.
We've also got a runoff now that has to be done, and it's June, we asked it, June, that will be a runoff, so you really can't do anything until after June. No?
We did allocate those two buildings publicly in a meeting, and we voted on it, and that was done. And if we can do it at the minimum, and
Not tonight, but just so we can clarify.
I think I was talking, Gene, so if I can finish. Thank you. I don't interrupt you, don't interrupt me. So I know, yeah, laugh if you want to, Gene. I don't really care at this point. So anyway, we did have a meeting to where we discussed moving forward with it, and if it could be done in-house, then it could go forward. We didn't vote on it. It was a discussion. And if it is costing a minimal amount anyway, we turned down the 500,000. We have to move. There are certain offices in this county that are under state and federal. Patty's is one of those, held to really strict stipulations for that. So at this point, her building's really not safe for the early voting for people coming in and out because of the structure of that building. And the Secretary of State was down not too long ago and presented Patty with an award. But we have that, and it's not saying that we're not going to move the tax commissioner, building and zoning, and tax assessor out of that building. It's just easier to move one building at a time and then to focus on moving those others.
And if it's urgency issue.
Yes.
Election, have to equipment.
I understand it. And 500-something thousand was too high.
Yes.
But it would have made more sense if somebody was coming back going, hey, we're gonna do all this in-house. Should get it down to we're only going to spend about 285 or 300,000 and got it approved and done. So right now, what you're doing when you get all this done, if it's still a significant amount, we gotta know, do we have it in the budget and can we cover it and vote to get it spent to be to the deadline in November?
Well, I think that's where I will get to.
Right.
Which go, my goal is to see, and I know they can probably what they do, my goal is to see what we can do with that. And then what we have. I don't think we will get anywhere near what we were. And if we get to a point where we have what to do, so we have what to do, the work we've done, not be wasted.
No, it won't be wasted.
Have some of this wall taken out.
But I'm just, if we can make a significant reduction from 500 some thousand by doing in-house.
Yeah. And these are things that they do, I mean, they're not, not doing small things. And I have not been out of this, so I don't know. I should see what we could do. Also with understanding, please, going to be something for the understanding. These will not be working on places. So I don't think anybody's trying to do anything done. I think it's trying to move forward.
I personally don't think anybody's trying to pull something out. I just, even as a chair, I'd have gone by and seen how things, I didn't know we were doing.
I did not tell the building start.
Well, down here where it says contractor, who is that?
I
So identify a contractor.
There's 4 and 5, maybe 6 contractors.
Yes, sir. And but the step right above that says identify contractor and source the doors. This schedule and information came about from a meeting with Lee and Patty and their board chairman. And what Lee has done is Lee has reached out and talked to some local contractors and discussed with them the things that need to be done in the time frame. He had 2 of them that were not able to meet it. He did have one that came back, and the individual, Mr. Anthony Chapman, could hit the time frame that we have and get us in the office around July 1st. Mr. Chapman can get multiple crews in here to start working.
So that stuff doesn't have to be put out the bid.
Um, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is correct. There are some conditions in our purchasing policy.
Either a legal requirement or it's not.
Actually, there with.
I'm sure.
Okay, all right. So the price that Mr. Chapman quoted for labor only was $45,000. And in talking with Lee, material would be about $20,000. So instead of spending $525 to get the interior of it redone and close to it, we're looking at about $65,000.
We actually went back and we put some of the things like water, act, like you said, what we like to do those, like moving before you. And I'd see it, I want what they would typically.
Right.
I'd see that.
Mhm.
But we did bring back.
Right. And ask your direction.
Even with, not necessarily full, I would say it still.
Yep.
Take all those to the frequently.
I'll say, I do not believe the intent is to bring it back before us. No, that's not being personal with you. This timeline was made beginning week of 5/20 with dates to move in, final security approvals, move machines, move staff, everything. We don't see that even on email. Nothing until the 28th, 8 days after this timeline's been put in place, we're first seeing it and hearing about it. So I don't believe it was initiated with the intention of this board having full knowledge and approval.
Obviously, I would think that's nice. At least this timeline will not work. No. I mean, we're talking about June, we can.
Regardless of that, we had to get approval to put a $20,000 engine in the ambulance. But he's saying it's $45,000 for labor to do this, and nobody's had any approval.
Yeah, but that's just.
That's
That dollar amount, because somebody said, I think that will.
Sound like to me, all this should have been on the agenda just to discuss, not be under the report from.
Yes, and that was an option, and that was something that we discussed, but based on the weight of the agenda, we decided to put it into this since we were just coming back.
But I do agree with you, everything in a safe place, but citizens come vote. I know we need to do it, but I just.
Because this stage, I mean, what, I thought we could go out and seek those, because that's fine if we do like, with staff and do that, and back from you guys. I know we can bring it back, but the question is, we can really sit and see that, what we let.
Oh, we need to keep moving forward. As far as my opinion, I think we need to keep moving forward.
Because they are all on the same. Yeah. If y'all, whatever y'all. This, I mean, so. Very good, not sure, these days. I think we go back to. Probably no good reflection. What have you guys?
Yeah, we don't need it for a runoff. We just had a big election problem, so we don't need to rush for that, but November would be nice.
You got another.
We got a runoff in a couple of weeks.
June. Mhm.
Yeah.
June 14th. Well,
I
18th.
know this is a good thing. Why to be there? So the direction for the board being. All through working with it all and get the forms, so finishing out the, without doing it. I'm concerned about that.
I think like Nathan said, it'd be nice if somebody here wants to make a motion to continue moving forward on this and get the numbers together and get back and let this board know, what it's gonna take, and can we get it done, and do we have outside the other funds in the budget somewhere, John can say. So we do need a new building, we do need a minute.
Well, I'll be glad to make the motion. I believe that we do need to move forward with whatever work that we can do in-house, but also work to get the proposals together if we need to contract it out. But we have need for that building, and the sooner that we can get elections in there, then we can know what other space we got to allocate. But we've got to address these buildings that are in dire need of repairs. So I'll make that in form of a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion, got a second? All in favor? That's to move forward and get back. But if we'd already made a motion to do this.
Yeah, we weren't really gonna be. We weren't ready.
Blue, anything else on your list?
No, not right now.
Thank you. Report, let's see, a report from the from county commissioners, Mr. Brian.
You bring that up, please, sir, Matt. Last week had a opportunity to attend the local hospital, Meriwether County Memorial. And this 3 gentlemen that you see here are hospitalists that are there now 24/7. This is Karen Daniels, the female in there. She's the CEO out there. Karen's done a great job. She's a registered nurse, took over CEO 6-7 years ago and has brought that hospital from the red into the black. But these 3 gentlemen are contracted hospitalists, and that's something that the local hospital did not have before. It was a emergency room, and then they would turn over to a medical doctor that would come in maybe once a day to see those patients. But these gentlemen are there 24/7 now. So we're growing a little bit in the community. They're able to provide services that we did not have in the past out there. So being in the medical field myself, this is a great opportunity to have these gentlemen there. So I just wanted to pass that on to everyone and make it part of the record so that the public does know that we are moving forward and we do have some additional medical help.
We need it.
That's all I have.
I thank everybody in the staff for the hard work they're doing. There's a lot of work went into a lot of the documents we've seen tonight and a lot of headaches and words and some of that. Been good responses from staff here and from county staff and support staff with issues and concerns, getting out to them quickly and quickly responding to the request. So there's a lot of good activity, a lot of good movement there. Thank you, everyone. Make sure you let those department heads know. I don't get to see them and talk to them that much, but everybody's doing pretty good, and the citizens that I interact with are fairly happy with it. That they, at least some work's being done and good responses, positive interactions that they used to complain about were not so positive before. So, good job, everybody. Keep it up. Thank you.
I just want to say that, I shared on my Facebook page and all, and of course, I want to make the community aware that the state will be closing the Route 109 West, which is LaGrange Street, as of next Wednesday. And with that being said, that should, for the bridge replacement. I'm looking forward to it, but Sheriff back there might not be, or any of the other law enforcement now, because that is a main thoroughfare. And while it will be nice to have a little peace and quiet, not all the tractor trailers going up and down the street, it will be kind of interesting to see and how to navigate around Greenville. But the other thing too, I want to remind everybody about Peaches in the Pines on June the 8th and from 10 to 4. And I know I don't want to steal your thunder if you want to add more to that, but it's right.
I'm just glad to see walls going up on your house.
Well, me too. Me
I
too.
just like to thank everybody, thank staff, thank all the department heads and thank all the employees for all the work they're doing and still got some issues with some dirt roads, but other than that, I'm not getting many calls. That's all I have.
It's the same thing. I always thought about the dirt roads. We're making some improvements. Yes, I think Cassandra the other day, had a gentleman who lives on a road in our county. He's out of state. He had nobody at home. He gets a phone call from the school, said you need to come get your kids because we're getting hard rain. He had nobody to go pick his kids up. They said the bus will not go down the road. But Cassandra went out there and picked the kids up for him. We got them home. She took pictures when she went out there, and the road wasn't. It needs work, and they got over there following few days, Berry, and they got it fixed for the school bus. But the school bus people refused to go down the road, but yet she went down it with a truck, and there was a couple of ruts, but it was passable. So I know we don't control the school board, but it's just hard to call somebody and tell them you need to come get your kids. We're not bringing them back home when they picked them up that morning. So
You were involved in that, weren't you?
Okay.
You were involved in that. They called you, right?
they called. That's what I'm saying. I'm thanking Cassandra.
But I'm saying what you did and had Cassandra, the county employee, go out to pick them up. You had a liability issue with the county by issuing a county truck. No, I do know the whole story. It is your time to speak, but I'm letting the people in the county know that you put the county at a huge liability by having an employee in a county truck pick up kids.
Well, we'll address that.
Yeah, we will in executive session.
Take consideration at the last moment there and talking with the school board, talking with the principal, and we're trying to figure out something to do. I assured them that we do not provide these kind of services. Guy is the one that's been in here twice now begging us to fix his road. He pays his taxes, and now his kids can't even get home. And his daughter-in-law's at the house with 2 babies and no car to drive. If I did wrong to ask somebody to help.
Oh, you did.
4 little kids, I apologize to the county.
It wasn't the fact of helping the kids. You put a liability on this county.
Okay, it's a liability.
Yes, you are. You're a liability.
Nobody got hurt that day, thank God. And I'm glad the kids got home safely.
And the school board's got some words for you too, Gene. Oh, you don't gavel me. Listen, I'll talk whenever I want to. I don't care what the chair is. You're an appointed chair, not an elected chair. If I want to talk, I've been here 12 years. I'll talk all damn day.
Keep telling us you've been here 12 years. And
That's right. And you act like a 2-year-old most of the time with your.
I have nothing else to say. I apologize to the people and people in there.
I apologize too, but not to him.
But is anything from the county attorney? The county attorney, we have reason for executive session.
Yes, we do. Possible litigation.
Personnel issues.
Personnel and real estate.
Possible litigation.
Personnel, real estate, litigation.
Personnel, real estate, litigation. That's correct. So our future meetings are Wednesday, June the 12th, 2024, regular meeting at 9:00 a.m. We're closed for Juneteenth holiday, Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. Tuesday, June 25th, 2024, regular meeting at 6:00 p.m. Closed for Independence Day, Thursday, July 4th, 2024. And we'll go on, I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
We got a motion to go into executive session at 8:35. A second? Oh,
He said second.
say all approved, all approved, there we go. A motion to go back and register. Second?
Second.
All in favor? We're now back in regular session. A lot took place in executive session, but not in the, we're gonna take action on tonight, but maybe in the very near future. So with all that being said, if there's nothing else to discuss, talk about tonight, anything you might be bring up, if not, I'd like the motion to end this meeting.
So move.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor? We are now out of this meeting at, she told me to wait on her to come in here. I'm sorry. I said, but you got it. I got 9:41.